Welcome. In this video we're going to show you the basics of doing some geometry importing into Workbench from like a CAD package, and then how to do a little simplification and other preparations for analysis. So in this case we'll use the static structural framework. We come to geometry and we're going to right click and select import geometry. And I'll browse. All right, so here I have a variety of ones here. I'm going to use, these are exports. I have a SolidWorks model, and then I have exports of the model into some generic formats that allow transfer. And I'm going to use this Parasolid format. So we import that. Now I could go ahead to the model there, but often there's some adjustments that need to be made, and maybe some simplifications of some details that you want to do to speed up the analysis, or some other post-processing. So that can be done in the space claim. So we'll go ahead and start that up. All right, so here we have the geometry. That might look a little bit like the geometry in your textbook, one of the homework problems, though I have turned it into a wrench with a little hex head on the end just to add a few more details, add a few more fillets, and including some here inside the hex cut out there. But basically we've got a bar that's one piece inside this other, called the shaft, and it's just a slip fit in there. Now how are we going to analyze this? First, from a practical standpoint, any extra fillets require more mesh to do, and it can be hard to get a good mesh on those. So if it doesn't impact the results of my analysis, then I can remove that. So if I come up to the Prepare tab, I have a variety of tools for working with geometry. And I could also look at the Repair tab. One of the things that that allows you to fix things if the geometry doesn't work real well. Okay, so repair. So one thing I could do is just check to see if there's any interference. No interference areas found. So no interfering bodies. We can now remove faces or small edges or rounds in order to help make this a little bit more, a little cleaner. So in your analysis are going to have to choose which ones you want to remove. I'm just going to remove one here to show you how it's done. So like this fillet here, again, it's at the end of a beam, at the end closest to the load, so the moment's going to be higher. If there's going to be a problem, it's going to happen at this fillet. And then of course I've got all these features in there that might be modified too. But we just select the ones we want to do, hit approve, and it has removed that edge. So you could do that for other features of interest in order to prepare. Now another thing that you might want to do is to split some faces. If you want to be able, as you saw before, if you want to be able to select a particular point in ANSYS Mechanical to apply a load, then you need a edge or a face to fit to do that. So I'm going to need to specify how the shaft connects with the arm. I mean, and I could just specify this whole surface of the arm, but that is a little bit inefficient. And I may also want some edges, something on the edge there to help me be able to select some edges there for constraints. So I might want to start by creating some maybe an axis there, create a plane, select. And I honestly don't know a lot about how these work, so we're going to go ahead and call it good. We're going to, so we can split. If you highlight it, so you can split a face or an edge. So if I want to split that, say this end piece here, now it's giving me an option to draw on there my split. I'm going to select it right along that line. So now I've got two faces. And then we'd also like to split the surface. You see how it automatically picked a normal. And I would give a little bit of space on each side. And then I could go ahead and split it again. Don't want it to be split too close to the to the interface in case there's any shifting there. That may also help us to be able to refine the mesh in that area where we're going to have some contact loads. Okay, so now I've split it a couple places. I've removed some features. You can decide what features you need for your model, and we're ready to go back to ANSYS Mechanical. So we'll go ahead and stop this video here and pick up with a separate video with some of the handling contact in ANSYS Mechanical.